once again very happy to be here with you, and we are still talking about our names, or what normally identifies us. And today I want us to think a little bit deeper about our personal names, or the names which we call personal. But in what ways are they our names? Are they actually our names? So these personal names of ours, how are they personal? Because in any case, we get these names from parents. So we also grow up thinking these are our names. A personal name, in my view, should also move with your personal values. Now, because I was so keen, or I'm so keen about this subject, this topic of personal names, I've had people who have family names. They also call themselves that these are personal names. Family names, in my view, especially this is common in the Western world cultures, it's what the people or the children inherit over the generation. They will find that they have only one name. But for us here in Africa, and of course now in Uganda, we have so many cultures that is very good, diverse. But I think we also have one common thing, that everybody of us has a name they call a personal name. So some of us have names which belong to religions and we call them personal names, but those I think are religious names in one way or another. Other names, as I've said, are belonging to families and to clans in societies which have a strong clan culture. Like in Uganda, they will have a name which is according to the clan, and that one is like your family name. And then, of course, before you know it, you start calling it your personal name. Now, these clan names sometimes are ancestral names, or they are names which, in a way, they are also inherited. We'll get examples when we come to see people who get names or who are given names by their grandfathers, so that the relative in the past, the ancestor who maybe was a great person, is not forgotten. When I say that our personal names sometimes are Christian names, for example, you go to the church, they give you the name. That name may belong to a saint, but do we care to know what values that saint communicates through us? It is so surprising, however, that when we come to school, when we begin school, and then they ask us, what is your name? Then I will say, I'm Mercy Mirembe, because that was my maiden name. Now, then you find that they say, what is your surname? S-U-R-N-A-M-E. Surname, the name which would be the name we use like every day here. But you'll find that every day here, most of us would use what we call the baptismal names, or the Christian names, or those names which also belong to Islam, not necessarily the surname. And then we make the order round, and then you say, my name is Mercy Mirembe Ntangaare. Mercy is the Christian name. Mirembe, also actually, if you think deep about it, you may relate it to the Bible, because Mirembe means peace. Actually, when I was young, I used to call myself Mercy, Peace, Mirembe. Until then, I knew that the difference between peace and Mirembe was almost the same. But again, when I think more closer about it, I think it's not necessarily religious. Yes, it can be religious, because they normally say, peace be with you, as we leave church. But it can also mean or inspire me to live at peace with myself to begin with, but also with the other people who I stay with or who I work with. Last week we said that some of these names work for or against us. Now, when I got married, and this is the beauty of marriage and the place of women in marriage. Of course, when you get married, when you're a woman, you are expected actually to shed off your real personal name, the one which I said is the surname, the one which would be like the family name, the one which would be like the one which puts you in the family, in the clan. Then you are supposed to get your husband's name. So my husband's name anyway is Ntangaare. I also say now it is my name. So I have the obligation to myself to live as a Mercy, to live as a Mirembe, to live as an Ntangaare. Now, of course, many people have heard them saying we are the Ntangaares, for example, or we are the Kawesas, or we are the whichever surname you have or family name. Now, my names, as I've said, I went and looked at them, and actually the motivation to do that was when I went to do my PhD study in Germany. I met a friend, and this friend, who is a German, asked me, "What is your name?" I said, "My name is Mercy Mirembe Ntangaare." Then we went on to joke about ourselves, and because of course she's German and she wouldn't understand Mirembe, for example, the Ugandan name, or Ntangaare, the Ugandan name. So we tried to translate these names, and it became very, very funny for us, but also for me, it brought in more right. For example, I became, and we translated in English, but also in German. I became Mercy, or the Mercy of God, Mercy Barmherzigkeit, das Wunder. That is in German, but it simply would now mean Mercy Mirembe Ntangaare. I would just give her one name, as she would, for example, become Katarina Dikhosa. So you can see that the values, then how do we get them? Then a friend gave me a birthday present, which I want to share with you. The birthday present was actually an explanation of my name. And if you allow me, I can read what is there. A name meaning merciful, forgiving. So which means my character would also be merciful, would also be forgiving. Never chooses unjustly. She loves unselfishly. She has clear boundaries in life. Kindness is her foremost quality. An inspiration to the world. Has the loveliest of hearts, I hope I do. Seeks adventure at every turn, that is actually very true. A very gracious person. I want to challenge each one of us. What is the meaning of our names? What values do those names bring to you? And those values, are they your values as a person? Can you actually transfer them to your child? Yes, you can, in the way you have to bring the child. But again, when you give your name to the child, I think you are stopping that child, you are prohibiting that child from getting or finding their own values in life. And of course, there are also children who lend their parents their names due to different circumstances. That one we shall talk about it in an episode in the near future, where you find they say Tata Dennis. In that case, actually, the identity is working against the parents, so that you find the child is lending the parents their own name. Idea, the International Drama, Theatre and Education Association, in its online festival this year, is actually handling the subject of the biographical theatre. And I have a presentation there, which I interest you to check. I thank you very much for running this with me. I hope if you're a child, you'll ask your parent, what does my name mean? Or why don't I have my name if the parent has actually given you his or her name? And of course, if you are the parent, like most of us, then think about the names that we give our children. Are they names that will make it for them in life, will work for them in life? Or are they names that are going to restrict them condemn them. Just restrict them to your own person and also the circumstances of the now, but not of the future. Thank you and have a good day.